Welcome everyone for another veteran Darktide guide. Today I'm going to be giving you a build I'm calling the Scout. We're going to be using the infantry autogun with a Mark 6 power sword and infiltrate. Those are the big keys that make this build work. So I'm going to go over the talents, the curios, and the weapons you'll need to utilize this in Auric Damnation or Auric Maelstrom. It works great in both. I've been having a ton of fun with it. And it's just a very different playstyle from the Shout Veteran Commissar type deal that we've been centered around lately. Anyway, there is going to be a big patch coming up soon, so stay tuned to the channel. I'll be reviewing all the new talents, coming up with some new builds, and all that great stuff. But today, we're going to be going into our Scout Veteran Guide. Join me in the Psychanium. Hello everyone, thanks for joining me in the Psychanium, where I'm going to be showing you the weapons, talents, and curios you're going to need to make this build work in Auric Damnation and Auric Maelstrom. So to start off with, what is this build for? Well, I'm calling it the Scout build, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our Infiltrate, our Power Sword, our Columbus Mark V autogun, and our grenades to cause as much disruption as possible. We're also going to make it our responsibility to pull mob packs to our team. So if we see a pack of maulers in the distance, or a pack of shotgunners, what we're going to do is we're just going to aggro them, get them to come towards us, stealth, run up with our power sword, and start chopping everything to death. It's a lot of fun. I've been having a ton of fun with it so far in Auric Damnation, and I hope to share it with y'all today. So let's go through the talents, the curios, the weapons, and the blessings and all that good stuff so that you can go and dominate on Damnation. So to start off with, for this build, I highly recommend you run one of the power swords, either the Mark 6 or the Mark 3. They'll both work. I prefer the Mark 6 because of its stab push attack. It's really great for killing heavily armored targets, dealing damage to bosses, killing mutants that are charging at you. It's just a great weapon to have. Now, for the perks and blessings, I would recommend that you take power. Well, actually, you have to take Power Cycler in order to make this work. Everything else, kind of optional. It will still work, maybe suboptimally if you don't have the right perks and the right other blessing. But if you absolutely have to have Power Cycler, or it will not work. The reason for that is we need those 3 chained energized hits in order to kill most elites and specials in the game. Without those 3 energized hits, you're just not going to be as lethal as you otherwise would be. For perks, optimally, I would recommend that you take 25% maniac damage, or sorry, 25% flak damage. 25% maniac damage would be good, but really the other perk doesn't really matter. The flak damage, it's going to help you a lot with killing gunners and maulers by, just slicing through crowds, hitting them in the body, that kind of thing. The other perk, it can really be whatever you want. I think that Unyielding is a good option, Maniac's a good option, Crit is okay. I'm only running these because I spent a frustrating amount of credits in Plasteel trying to get this sword for y'all, and this is what I landed on after probably 2.5 million credits and a few thousand Plasteel. I almost lost my mind, so I hope y'all enjoy this for that. For our weapon, or for our ranged weapon, we're taking the Columbus Mark V infantry autogun. And for this, the perks and blessings do matter more than the power sword. So for the perks, we definitely want flak and maniac damage. This is going to help us kill the things that are either too far away for us to kill, get rid of specials quickly, and just it's going to help us out a lot if we have these two. You don't need unyielding on it because for most unyielding enemies, you're going to be using your power sword, and for things like Reapers, it just shreds them anyway, so you just really don't need it. We can also kind of make up for not having it in our talents by taking Bring It Down. So I'll show you that in a minute. For our curios, I like to run 1 stamina curio. This is just to help you block, help you run a little bit faster. It's a quality of life thing. It's not super necessary. It's just what I run. And for these, feel free to pause the video if you want to see the specific perks I take on each. Then I'm taking 1 toughness curio and 1, usually this is a health curio. Yeah, 21% max health. The max health, it helps a lot in this build because you're not going to have the same toughness regen as the Commissar build, so being able to take a sniper shot when your toughness is broken is extremely valuable, and 121% health will let you do that. Now for our talents, to go quickly through them, there are two versions of this build. There's one that is more melee focused, and one that, well, melee and grenade focused, and one that is more ranged focused. This is the more melee grenade focused one, so I want to talk through a few specific things in here to get y'all going. So we are taking frag grenades. I don't think cracks are necessary because we have our power sword and we have our invisibility, so we can kind of get around the threats that we can't immediately kill. And having frag grenades with Grenade Tinkerer, Demolition Stockpile, and Grenadier means we're going to have 4 frag grenades we can throw, and the radius on this with Grenade Tinkerer is ridiculous. I want to show you this real quick. So with Grenade Tinkerer on a frag grenade, if I am to throw it right here, it will hit every elite on the right and every special on the left because the radius is so big. As you can see, even that bomber in the back is taking bleed damage. So this is really good at softening up targets for us to mow down with our infantry autogun. It also just causes a lot of stagger, a lot of disruption, and all that good stuff. Now further down the tree, we're going to be taking pretty standard things. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because there's only a few nodes that we really want, and the others we're really just taking to get those. And the ones that we really want are Agile Engagement for the 25% damage on our other weapon, since we are going to be swapping weapons quite often based on the situation. This will be procced most of the time, so extra 25% damage is great. We're going to be taking Onslaught for the brittleness. This helps you soften up targets. Like if you see a crusher running towards your team or something, you can shoot it a few times. It will get brittleness stacked on it, and it can die a lot easier. It will also help you focus down things like maulers pretty easily. Then we're going to be taking Desperado and Trench Fighter Drill. Desperado for the crit chance and the melee finesse bonus, and then Trench Fighter Drill for the extra attack speed. With this node, your power sword is going to be attacking about as quickly as a chain sword. It's slightly slower, but not really enough to be noticeable. Then in the middle tree, we're taking my 3 favorite talents in the game, Tactical Awareness, Bring It Down, and Superiority Complex. These two are just giant damage boosts, and this one lets you get cooldown reduced on Specialist Kill, which you will be killing a lot of Specialists because you're a veteran. And then we're taking Confirmed Kill. I think that Confirmed Kill in this build is more necessary than in a lot of other builds because we don't have as many reliable ways to get our toughness back without our ability up. And since the base cooldown is 45 seconds, we have to kill significantly more specials in order to get it reset compared to the shout. So I think that means that Confirmed Kill is almost necessary in this build. Otherwise, you're really going to be struggling with taking damage. Now, to really quickly show you the other version, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is the gun-centered version. The only reason it becomes a gun-centered build is because of Survivalist. The Columbus infantry autogun does not have many ammo issues because you're not going to be spraying it a lot. You're not really relying on it to kill big packs of elites and specials. You really are just using it as a reliable ranged weapon that can deal with problems that are a little bit out of reach. But when you have Survivalist, every time you kill an elite special, or any of your teammates do that are in coherency with you, you get about 8 bullets back. So your ammo just doesn't become a problem. Most of the time when I run this build, I very rarely need to pick up ammo, and it's incredibly nice for that. The rest of the tree is pretty much the same, especially the bottom is identical. Even over here is the same. We are taking Surprise Attack. I'm not sure if I mentioned that yet. But we will be taking Surprise Attack because it gives you 30% damage for 5 seconds on leaving stealth. Now you might ask, why don't we just take this, Close Quarters Kill Zone? It gives us the same bonus, but for 10 seconds. Well, this only gives you the bonus for close combat damage, so it's a little less flexible. This is 30% damage when we leave stealth, so if we sneak up behind a Beast of Nurgle, we can just obliterate it by shooting it in the weak spot. If we sneak past a group of maulers, we can just wreck them by shooting them in the back. This is 30% damage plus the 40% damage from raking fire on our autogun, and it's just a huge damage boost. Now, I will show you one thing that is a little bit regrettable because of my power sword. If I had 25% flak damage on this power sword, well, that was a crit. That's kind of unfortunate. You can see it doesn't quite die. It's got about a third of its health left, right? Well, if we have 25% flak, what it'll let us do is when we pop our combat ability, we'll be able to kill it in one hit to the head. So that means you run up behind a group of gunners, just one quick slash, they're all dead. So that's why flak damage it's a little bit sad that I don't have it on this sword, but I wanted to show y'all that it is a breakpoint you can hit pretty easily. Lastly, I just wanted to show you real quick the power of raking fire, of shooting things in the back, especially with the Columbus. So the way raking fire works is if we're just slightly behind them, you see it does 102 damage from there, 108 from the front. So if we're just slightly behind them, we're getting that 30% or 40% damage boost. And what that means is we can just burst down whatever we want, as long as we're shooting it in the back. This gets even more severe when you pop your combat ability. Now this won't kill this crusher very quickly, but just want to show you as a demonstration. See that damage boost on a target this gun is not meant to kill will still allow you to kill it. So if you're shooting a softer target like a bulwark, well, that one was a little bit wounded, or a reaper, they die incredibly fast. So if you really like a hit and run style of gameplay, I'd really encourage you to try this out. I'd also encourage y'all to check out my other video that I'll be uploading in the next day or two, where I show you a gameplay commentary using this build, where I kind of talk through my thought process as I'm playing the game in quick play. And yeah, I've been able to carry a lot of games with this, and my mission success rate has definitely gone up because of it. So I hope y'all like the build, and join me in the next one. Now go kill some heretics. Commissar Caiaphas out.